Hi, my name is Satwan, and welcome to today's video where I'll be showing you 3 of the latest payment solutions which will help your business to collect existing debts faster and how to prevent customers from getting into debt in the first place. If you're new to the channel, Digital Money Lab helps businesses to increase sales conversions and cut payment processing costs by using the best payment systems and platforms for your needs. Make sure you watch all the way through to the end because I'll be providing you with 3 bonus pieces of content throughout the video which will give you all of the information you need to choose the right solution for your business. Before I begin, I want to explain how I've structured this video so that you get the information you need as quickly as possible. The first solution I'm going to talk about will help your business to collect debt quickly and easily with minimal human interaction. The second solution will enable your customers to get help and assistance from friends and family to pay their bills. The third solution will help your customers to avoid debt entirely by getting other people to pay for the products and services they need. I've created timestamps and chapters in this video so that you can quickly navigate to the relevant section that you need to watch. However, I'd recommend watching the entire video because you may benefit hugely from all 3 solutions. So let's begin. Historically, businesses with customers in debt only had a few options to collect that money. Most of these methods were expensive, time-consuming, and often not that effective. Typically, these methods included staff members who would phone customers to chase payments, an administrative team who would post letters to remind customers to pay, and as a last and final resort, using a debt collection agency to hunt customers down and force them to pay, which often involves intimidation and harassment. All of these methods are time-consuming and expensive. If we look at the first one, call centers require lots of staff to chase debt. Staff, as we know, are expensive to hire and train, and these people would be better utilized elsewhere in the business to generate more revenue and profits. The phone calls themselves are not very effective in today's world either, because most people don't answer calls from the numbers that they don't recognize. The traditional metric to measure this type of debt collection, which is called Right Party Connect, or RPC, is completely irrelevant in today's world. So this method of debt collection is completely broken. Secondly, postal mail isn't effective either because it costs money to send each letter. People can say they didn't receive the letters. The mail itself can get lost. And people nowadays are extremely mobile, so they may not be at a fixed address every day either. For example, when I started my career, I used to live in one place from Monday to Friday, somewhere else on the weekends, and on top of that, my job as a sales rep involved travelling all over the UK, and so I often didn't check my postal mail for at least a week or two on many occasions. Thirdly, using a debt collection agency is expensive and is usually counterproductive. If things have got to the point where intimidation and harassment are the only ways left to collect money, it may not be worthwhile to collect the debt at this stage if the sums involved are relatively small. Thankfully, there is a brand new debt collection solution which has proven to be so successful that the people who use it often leave a 5-star review on Google after they've finished paying the debt themselves. It sounds hard to believe. And this new solution is called Indebted. Indebted is a digital platform which focuses on customer experience to deliver increased debt recoveries and preserving valuable customer relationships. Indebted delivers tailored experiences and personalized communications on the digital channels that customers prefer, such as WhatsApp, SMS messages, email, live chat, and Twitter, as a few examples. Indebted has found that having this digital layer in between themselves and the customer means that people are less likely to be afraid to contact them. Indebted turns the debt collection industry on its head by getting customers to contact them via inbound communication instead of the outbound method which has been used by companies for decades. Here are some highlights of the solution. So the first one is tracking, to see which links and landing pages that customers are clicking on. The Indebted software then adapts the next message workflow accordingly in the appropriate channel, such as WhatsApp or email, so that it matches what the customer wants to do. Secondly, offering a customized collection journey and dunning process based on what the customer is responding to and clicking on in the various digital channels that I've just mentioned. Thirdly, it offers a tailored payment arrangement based on customers' age, gender, behavior, and many other factors based on patterns from previous successful collections. Customers can control the installments, so they can pause them, pick them up again, and increase or decrease the payment amounts. The machine learning within the indebted solution gets better over time and increases the collections rate with less effort. Fourthly, the solution automatically works with compliance and regulations so that, for example, if regulations state that a customer cannot be contacted more than 10 times a month, the software will automatically limit the communications accordingly. Number 5, the ability to offer discounts and settlements based on campaigns that are run by indebted. So an example might include the option to pay 50% of the balance for accounts to settle them permanently if they are over 180 days or 365 days old. And lastly, the solution offers a completely automated workflow with clients, customers, banks, and any other institution involved in the debt collection process for a particular customer. Once indebted collects the money from a customer, the money goes straight to the company that is actually owed the debt. So it's a very lean process and fully automated. Here are some really interesting stats from Indebted. Number 1, 98% of all communications with customers are digital, with only a tiny fraction from inbound voice calls. And second, 80% of every dollar collected doesn't involve a single human interaction. Indebted's mission is to treat people in debt with dignity and respect. I personally love the fact that their staff are not paid based on how much money they collect, but if the customer's desired outcome is satisfied, and how many positive reviews Indebted gets on websites like Google Reviews. Now I'd like to show you the first bonus piece of content that I mentioned earlier. I interviewed Lachlan Husler, the Chief Commercial Officer at Indebted, on my podcast called The Payments Show. This was a fascinating discussion about how Indebted is revolutionizing the debt collection industry and helping businesses and customers to achieve the outcomes they need. To listen to the episode, simply find The Payments Show in your favorite podcast app and search for episode 13. Alternatively, you can open a web browser and type thepayments.show into the address bar, where you'll be able to stream episode 13 immediately. To find out more about Indebted, you can go to their website at indebted.co. That's .co. The next solution I want to talk about prevents people getting into debt by making it easier to get assistance from family and friends to pay bills. I'm sure you would agree that no business takes pleasure in chasing debt, no matter how user-friendly and convenient it is to do so. It still takes effort and costs money to chase debt, and it would be much better if you could help your customers to not get in debt in the first place. Up until now, there hasn't really been a way for businesses to help customers get assistance when they're struggling to pay bills. Thankfully, that has all changed with the new solution which enables customers to help themselves. The solution is called HelpPay, and HelpPay is a social impact fintech that makes it easier for people to share bills and help those in need to pay bills. It enables customers by giving them the simplest possible way to share their bills with family, friends, or their support network. Every payment made goes direct to the billing company instead of into that person's personal bank account. You can see on the screen that the app makes it simple to share links in seconds through any channel, such as WhatsApp, Facebook, or SMS message, and anyone can help someone pay part or all of the bill. HelpPay offers many additional benefits to both businesses and customers. So here are some examples. The first one is transparency of payments. As I mentioned, any money paid by family or friends goes straight to the company instead of into that person's bank account. The great thing is both parties know exactly where the money is going. Secondly, it removes the stigma of asking for help. Like I mentioned with Indebted earlier, using an app somehow makes it easier for people to ask for assistance. That extra barrier in the middle seems to soften the blow of any embarrassment or shame in asking for help. Thirdly, debt prevention. It is much better to prevent someone getting into debt who may temporarily be struggling due to something as simple as losing a job or some other temporary situation which will not affect a person's long-term ability to pay bills. When someone misses the payment of a bill, that could lead to a downward spiral involving lots of admin, phone calls, correspondence, stress, and ultimately debt collection agencies knocking at the door. This can easily be avoided if people have an alternative option earlier on in the cycle of debt, or when they could see trouble on the horizon and they can proactively take action to avoid any troubled situation. Number 4, to reduce friction. It's easier and cheaper for customers to help themselves instead of your business having to get involved in managing debt. It costs less, and you may not even know that your customer has received assistance in any given month when they're using HelpPay. And lastly, it offers the opportunity to get net new customers. So it's not necessarily just people in trouble who would use HelpPay. A great use case would be aging parents who are unable to use the internet as they get older. Their children and grandchildren can easily pay bills for them using an app like HelpPay. The social impact of HelpPay is significant. For example, HelpPay's research has shown that the app can help prevent domestic violence or prevent arguments between a divorcing couple who may be pushed to the edge due to financial pressure. Things like child support payments can be paid directly to where they need to go, instead of ending up in one partner's bank account and being held hostage for leverage over the children, for example. Now I'd like to show you the second bonus piece of content that I mentioned earlier. I interviewed Rowan Wild, who is the co-founder and chief customer officer at HelpPay, on episode 48 of my podcast. HelpPay aims to take a different approach to indebted by ensuring customers don't get into financial trouble in the first place. The benefits to families and individuals of not getting into a debt spiral are significant, and Rowan does an excellent job of explaining the HelpPay solution along with their future plans. Once again, to listen to the episode, simply find the payments show in your favourite podcast app and search for episode 48. Alternatively, you can open a web browser and type thepayments.show into the address bar, where you'll be able to stream episode 48 immediately. If you'd like to find out more about HelpPay, head over to their website, which is helppay.com.au. The third and final solution I want to move on to now helps customers to avoid paying for their purchases altogether. To understand the solution, first let me set the scene. Imagine if your teenager wants to buy a $1,000 laptop online, or an expensive musical instrument. Or if your son or daughter is heading to university and they need to buy furniture, a TV, and all sorts of other big-ticket items. There are a few problems here. The teenager won't have a credit card because they're too young, and you don't want to risk handing over your credit card to either person in case it's misused. So what's the solution to this problem? The solution is a payment system called Upay. Upay enables someone to shop online and they can send their cart via a payment link to another person. It avoids the end customer ever having to spend any money at all themselves, and it enables the payer to remain in control of spending and budgeting. In addition to helping people avoid debt altogether, Upay has many benefits to a business which are not initially obvious. So let me go through a few of them. The first one is double customer acquisition. So every transaction made with Upay results in two people's data being stored in the customer database. One, of course, is the data for the end customer who bought the goods in the first place, and the second set of data is for the payer themselves. This will offer a huge competitive advantage over time because your business will be getting double the data compared to most businesses. And this will compound over time to increase your competitive advantage in the marketplace. Secondly, it offers increased sales conversion. Upay links convert 17% of the time. If you have spent money on Google or Facebook ads to get customers to the shopping cart, this can help your business to ensure that investment is realized more often and more quickly. Thirdly, let's look at loyalty points. By using Upay, loyalty points will correctly go to the end user because the transaction happens in their online account at a store. So as an example, let's look at a scenario where a husband is paying for cosmetics purchased for his wife. Without Upay, the husband would normally have to create a store account and the loyalty points would end up there. And these points would most likely be lost forever because it's unlikely that the husband shops there at any other time, except for when he's buying gifts. Number 4, charities and non-profits. Charities can easily send payment links in fundraising campaigns if they need emergency donations, as an example. Number 5, a payments relationship manager. So going to a website for the first time, which has Upay on it, can present sales opportunities to a payer which would have been almost impossible to do before. For example, if a payer goes to a department store's website to buy men's shoes for himself, The website would know that he regularly buys children's items as gifts, for example. Those could be presented to the payer and result in significantly higher average order values. And number 6, which is the best one, no doubt, someone always has money. So even if an end customer can't afford something, chances are that they know someone who can. The opportunities for businesses that implement UPay are potentially huge, and the company is just barely getting started. UPay integrates easily with platforms like Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, and OpenCart. UPay also does not handle the money. The money itself is transferred straight through to Stripe, PayPal, Afterpay, and similar payment systems that your business may already use. Now I'd like to show you the third and final bonus piece of content that I mentioned earlier. I interviewed Matt Home, who is the founder and CEO of UPay, on episode 19 of my podcast. Matt's story on why he created UPay was a classic example of solving a problem that you may face on a regular basis, which other people would love to solve too, if only someone would take the action to solve the problem. That's exactly what Matt did, and UPay is growing quickly in its home market of Australia, and no doubt they're looking to expand overseas in the future. Once again, to listen to the episode, simply find the Payments Show in your favourite podcast app and search for episode 19. Alternatively, you can open a web browser and type thepayments.show into the address bar, where you'll be able to stream episode 19 immediately. To find out more about UPay, you can visit their website at upay.co. That's upay.co. So to summarise, these are 3 excellent payment solutions which can help your company to deal with debt at all different stages of your customer's journey. UPay can help your customers avoid debt entirely by getting someone else to pay for products and services. HelpPay enables customers to get assistance when they are struggling to pay bills due to a sudden loss of income, temporary hardship, or even to simply help relatives that can't use the internet, as an example. Lastly, Indebted helps customers to pay their debts using the most customer-centric approach, using the communication channel they prefer, and to be treated with the dignity and respect that they deserve. All of the links to the podcast episodes mentioned in the video are below in the description. Please comment below if you have any questions, feedback, or other types of payment solutions that you'd like me to discuss on the channel. Thanks for watching the video. If you'd like to find a new payment solution for your company, please head over to digitalmoneylab.com, where you'll be able to search for the ideal solution or to get in touch with me directly. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next video.